This is Paul. Yes. I was telling you about that Blu-ray orgasm that happens in the minds of those that are in the Blu-ray. Yes. Well, as a man, I think it's important that you use your sexual nerve endings anytime you stimulate your mind. Pooch. But I'm concerned about the B of the TV may have saturated certain women so that they have lost interest in the sexual nerve ending stimulation because the sex that they've been having is in their brains instead of in their bodies. Oh. Now, when I had that experience, I was like, well, I would do this maybe 2 or 3 times a month because it really is. It doesn't feel good. It's kind of a weird sensation. You're watching television and you're feeling this stimulation, but the stimulation doesn't involve the nerve ending. So, in the mind of the individual, it's somewhat of a painful experience. Yes. But I'm thinking that somebody thought we were going to go the way of, well, we're not going to use our sexual nerve endings anymore. Pooch. We'll sterilize the population because they'll just find out that you can have a brain orgasm. You don't have to have a physical orgasm. Yes. Now, I explained to you about ovulation yesterday, how I take those 3 days off and we go to that executive housing where I entertain. Yes. That's a special time that I have as a man where I want to make some babies. Pooch. But then there's that other 10 days. See, Marilyn only gets voluptuous her 10 days, inclusive of the 3 days in the middle of it. Yes, yes, yes. Then there's the mom, po, and oh mom. Yes. Marilyn's the, and then there's another woman that changes the sexuality every 6 weeks because of her sexuality. Yep. And usually that's during the time of the ovulation of a mother that I've either given a baby to, yes, or does have children and understands what it is to be a mother. Now, those women, they get to decide for that 10 days because usually there's about 30 days in a month, yes. And then during the menstruation of Marilyn, it's my 10 days and I get to decide what we do. Oh! Of all of those that volunteer in the office, I go through the ones that I thought were really special. Special. And it could be that we need some volunteers to be the bee of TV. Pooch. Have you ever had that relationship as a, well, either just somebody that you were having a sexual relationship with or a marriage where you'd lay in bed at night after a hard day's work and you really didn't have it in you to have some big physical brouhaha. And it really wasn't that erotic. The thought was, well, let's just watch TV and you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to lay here naked and eat sausage and cheese and crackers and you can do whatever you want. You've completely lost interest in sex because you haven't used your sexual nerve endings. And for some reason you didn't think it really affected you, but the truth is it did. It was harmful to the relationship, wasn't it? Leaving the TV on during sex, you just sat on the man and watched TV and moved your hips a little bit, and yeah, it's kind of nice, but since all the sex is in my brain, my sexual nerve endings are kind of turned off, and I really don't care if I have an orgasm or not because I, as a man, only want to have sex with women that want to have orgasms. Yes. You ever tried to have one of these charitable sex relationships as a married couple where a woman just lays there, spreads her legs, and says, do whatever you want. I don't really give a fuck. And then she gets done, or you get done, or whoever gets done, and you just lay in bed watching TV, late night television. Is that what it is? Chow, 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 chow. It kind of ruins the relationship when all the orgasms that you have is in your mind and your sexual nerve endings are not responsive to any sort of love or intimacy. It's kind of like, well, why don't I just lay here as a man and you can provide oral sex to me and I'll watch TV and completely ignore you as a woman. Because all I need to do is come to find out while watching high definition 72. Wait a second, 1080p, poo. Now, my thought is that during my 10 days a month, yes, because I know Marilyn's sexuality is important to her and it's important to our family. Yes. And I know mom's sexuality is important to her and the other volunteers that volunteer during that 6 weeks. Yes, it is. But as a man, I just volunteer my penis, do whatever you want. I don't really care as long as I'm watching TV. You just do whatever you want because